Week 18. Reset your plans. Welcome to Week 2 of the passive phase in the Thinsulin program. As you have known, obesity and diabetes are affected by many factors such as genetics, psychology, and metabolism. This is why Thinsulin's combination approach, the biopsychosocial approach to weight management and diabetic care, makes the most sense. Our goal for you this week is to learn how to use the principles of behavioral therapy to go along with the biology of insulin and the psychology of CBT to change your habit. Changing one's habits is not easy, but it can be done. You don't really need to understand how the process of habit forming works. You only need to follow the following instructions so that you can self-monitor to maintain your weight during the passive phase. The 4 processes of changing your new way of eating are 1. Goal setting, 2. Self-monitoring, 3. Feedback, 4. Reinforcement. The first process is goal setting. The very first thing you have to do is to set a short-term and a long-term goal. Make sure your goals have to be realistic. For example, the long-term goal during the 4 months of active phase is to lose 15% of your initial weight. The short-term goal is to just lose 2 pounds by the end of the first week. During the passive phase, your goal is to maintain the weight while you slowly increase your insulin level. Please don't feel discouraged when you can't lose up to 15% of your initial weight. This time, please focus on maintaining whatever the weights that you have lost. For this exercise, don't look too far ahead. Set your goals 1 week at a time. If you're able to stick to this plan and maintain about the same weight at the end of the week, you're doing a terrific job. If you gain a pound or 2, stop. Access how much enjoyment food you're having and when you're having it. If at any time you gain more than 5 pounds since you started the passive phase, your insulin level may spike too high. Don't panic. You may deviate from the plan for having more enjoyment foods or eating it as a snack. Go back to the active phase for 3 weeks to drop your insulin level again. Focus on losing those 5 pounds that you've just gained. After you're back on track, go back to the passive phase, but this time around, try your best to follow the program. The second process is self-monitoring. Self-monitoring is a component of behavioral therapy that has been proven to be effective in achieving better weight management and diabetic control. The goal of self-monitoring is to increase self-awareness of your behavior through observation and the recording of your eating and exercise patterns. There are 2 main techniques for self-monitoring. They are keeping food diaries and weighing oneself regularly. Keeping a daily food diary is very important during the beginning of the passive phase. You need to record what you eat and drink daily, including the type, amount, and calories. You can either document it in a journal or use online programs to help you track the foods as well as calories. Please upload the foods in the Thinsulin food diary so that the health educator team can follow and guide you. If you're not the type of person to keep logs or diaries, don't worry. Instead, please monitor your hunger level and craving. For example, if you crave desserts after dinner, then you know that you didn't eat enough proteins and vegetables for dinner. If you're hungry at night, you didn't eat nuts in the afternoon snack. If you feel hungrier before dinner, you probably didn't eat enough proteins and vegetables for lunch. Another self-monitoring technique is regular weighing. During the active phase, you need to weigh yourself weekly. However, during the passive phase, you need to weigh yourself daily, not weekly. If you maintain your weight, you're doing great. If you gain weights, you may not be following the instructions correctly. You can examine your food diaries so that you can adjust accordingly. Self-monitoring is very important because it can help you be aware of what you're eating. When you record down what you eat, you will be conscious of your action and you'll be more likely to follow the instruction and change your behavior. The third and fourth techniques are feedback and reinforcement. These 2 techniques usually go hand in hand. When you receive a feedback, it can either positively or negatively reinforce your actions. The topic about feedback and reinforcement won't easily be explained in this session. You only need to be aware of the 3 following things. 1. The first thing is that feedback will reinforce your behavior or action. For example, when you lose weight, your friends will give you positive feedbacks, which would enforce your behavior. The problem with this is that you have to lose a lot of weight before your friends can notice it. When you apply cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, you don't need others' compliments to reinforce your behavior. When you guide and help others to lose weight and manage their diabetes, you automatically reinforce your action. You see? 2. The second thing is that it takes time for feedback and reinforcement to work. A little positive reinforcement in the beginning may not change your behavior that much. However, over time, your behavior will change when you receive a constant loop of feedback and reinforcement. 3. The third thing is that once you are able to modify your new behavior, you still need the routine feedback and reinforcement to maintain it. Otherwise, you may fall back to your own unhealthy habits. For example, after a few years of wearing braces to straighten your teeth, you know very well that this is not the end. You still have to wear a retainer every night if you want to keep your teeth straight. If you don't, your teeth will slowly migrate back to their crooked position. Here is the example menu for the second week of passive phase. Thank you. This program is brought to you by Dr. Tusong N. Nguyen, MD, together with Dr. Charles Nguyen, MD, the authors of the Thinsulin program, the breakthrough solution to help you lose weight and stay thin. Stay tuned for the next episode.